up. So here you can adjust.
Okay, cameras. You have to go into settings.
Okay. Hold on one second, Justin. I'm standing up and walking. Oh shit, I mean ogre.
Yes, we are live now. Allegedly. Let's see if we're actually online. La la la.
It's sometimes, it's hard to switch between the personas.
Hi everybody. Okay, we're futzing around with Florida Woman's camera. We're trying to get it to stop automatically darkening everything.
Okay. Okay. My butt is comfortable.
Yeah, it keeps dropping the brightness of her camera to like pitch black so she just disappears.
And I end up looking like
Like we're
a
trying to do witness
campfire.
protection. We're trying to do like witness protection.
Okay, so I'm in settings. Where do I go?
Bluetooth and devices.
Mm-hmm. Cameras.
Yep. Oh, whoops. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Mom, I'm live.
Let me set my volume so I can hear what the hell I'm doing.
HP wide vision camera.
La, 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 la.
Okay, right now.
All right, click on properties.
Yeah, I'm in the brightness and stuff right now.
All right, see if changing that does anything. Oh, well, that helped.
Is it good there?
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's perfect. I can actually see your shoulders.
It's been 10,000 years since I've seen her shoulders.
It's like, oh, that's what you look like from the neck down.
Okay, so we're good then?
Yes, it would appear so. All right, just give me 1 second.
Okay, let me put my glasses on. I don't know how long they'll last today because I really hate like wearing a mask and wearing glasses. Good morning, everybody. I can't see anybody in the comment section because I don't have Substack pulled up yet.
Sorry, had to blow my nose. Ain't nobody want to see or hear that.
Did it sound like an ogre? My dog heard that.
Was he slightly alarmed?
Yeah, his ears are up.
Yeah, we got to get you like a microphone like this so you don't have to wear a mask. Just microphone and like one of these things, you just have it blocked in front of your face.
I just want to do this.
Uh, okay, sorry everybody. There's a little tech support going on here. We're good now.
Okay, let me pull up Substack.
Jordan, we're gonna be recording, so you have to be. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, I do look so much better.
Yep.
Though my glasses are all askew right now.
Oy.
Shit.
Sure the volume's off.
I can't. Oh, there we go. Live chat.
All right, the volume is off.
Hello, my peoples.
Hello.
Hold on, I got a text message and it could be important, so let me just check that really fast.
Yep. La, 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 la.
Oh,
Okay.
so Jen lives by the Bob. Don't be scooting your butt on the carpet. That's gross. But Jen lives by the county jail, and
Mhm.
she said, I think someone broke out of jail, heard a few cops, and then I heard them saying moving north on the tracks, and now the chopper's out.
Get to the chopper.
Like, lock your doors.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. How many people we got? 21. That's not enough. Where are our people? Are we boring now? You guys
Apparently.
don't love us anymore?
We don't have the whippy snappy repertoire anymore.
It's because we don't have the. Oh, it's because we don't have the puppets.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I'll just put that right here. Puppet show. You can see the eyebrow. And you can see one of the eyebrows. There you go.
It still looks like a penis.
You leave my penis puppet alone.
It really does look like a shaft there.
Shaft. Wait, you might be too young for that. Actually, you're definitely too young for that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about there. Good morning from Canada. Good morning from Florida.
It's like polar opposites. Canada, pleasant, nice, free, cold. Florida, sweaty, fascist hellhole.
I know, and they just in the primary last night, Republicans chose Byron Donalds, the guy who wants to put data centers all over the state.
Of course he
in
does.
In a state where we already have problems with water supplies.
Wonder how much money he got for that. It's going to be really funny because people on the left and the right hate data centers, right? So, but Republicans are going to get a lot of money from the tech industry, which means Fox News and the rest of them are going to be like, no, data centers are great, which means over the next several years, the right is going to be like, no, we love data centers because Fox News told us data centers are awesome.
Yeah, that's already kind of starting.
It's going to be really weird to watch them going out there and literally protesting in favor of data centers. It's going to be, they create jobs. Yeah. Data centers are awesome because they create jobs for billionaires or something. It's going to be so weird to watch. It's like, it'll be the Tea Party for data centers. It's like,
no, for
you guys
sure.
are just a fucking cult. You literally will say anything you're told to say, but it's going to be really amazing to watch. A data center ate my job, but I love data centers. It's like, okay, cultist. Don't call me a cultist. Okay, but you're wearing like a little data center on your head, and you're saying you tattooed the data center on your arm, but it's okay. You're not a cultist or anything. It's cool. It's cool.
You tattooed a data center.
I promise you, within 4 or 5 years, you're going to see people on the right. They're going to start tattooing it. They're going to start tattooing data centers on their arms because, just to own the libs. They're going to own the libs by being like pro data center because they're fucking morons.
Yeah, I love when they try to own the libs, and it's always just owning themselves.
Yep. It'll destroy their communities. It'll destroy their entire future. Their kids won't have jobs. But, I love data centers because Fox News said they're awesome and it makes libs cry. Yeah.
Well, Thierry, so obviously I don't like Byron Donalds, who we're talking about right now, who won the Republican nomination. And honestly, the thing about Florida is like Democrats picked David Jolly, who's a former Republican congressman. And ordinarily, I'd be like, fuck that bitch. But in Florida, it might be the only way that we're going to win. And he's like a moderate Republican. He was a moderate Republican who was kicked out of the party because he was a never-Trumper. So, I mean, if it's between the two of them, I'll be jolly ho.
Wasn't there something? Oh God, I was just listening this morning to What a Day. Um, one of the Republicans that was running was calling.
Oh, Fishback.
One of them was caught rifling through someone's mail while they were out campaigning, and the other person was like, "Oh, that guy's satanic," and he said something that was like really fucking crazy, even for a Republican.
I think that was Fishback, which is funny because there's a giant flag for him on the side of the highway. So Florida didn't used to always be like this. I would say that after Charlie Crist, that's when things started going awry. So really just 2 governors. It was after the 2010 realigning where the Tea Party took over that Florida got fucked.
And they did start attracting large amounts of Republicans. A lot of Republican voters went there, so now the state is very
during, because it used to be about even. That's why we were a swing state. That's why we voted for Obama. But then after COVID, so many Republicans flocked here because we were cheaper than like California, and nobody wants to go to the Gulf beaches in like Louisiana, So we have a lot of beaches. Our beaches are very pretty, and it was more affordable. But the thing is like they made it unaffordable. It's so expensive here now.
Yeah, they really took like the one thing they had going for them and destroyed it.
They did.
Why? Who knows? Because they're Republicans.
But in good news, Sarasota County has been their school board has been controlled by Republicans for about 4 years, and the head of the school board was Bridget Ziegler. Remember, her husband was the head of the Republican Party in Florida, and there was like this big scandal that they were swinging and having a threesome, and
that whole thing.
Yeah, so she was the head of the Sarasota County School Board, and yesterday she was like, "Oh, look at them campaigning. They have Ziegler derangement syndrome," which, just as an aside, during Obama's administration, we used to say that the Republicans had Obama derangement syndrome, and they're so unoriginal that they had to take that term and twist it for themselves. So like, you guys couldn't even come up with a new term. So anyways, last night 3 Democrats won in Sarasota, and they took back control of the school board. So it doesn't matter what happens in November, we have control of the school board. I don't live in Sarasota, but I am happy about that.
Yay!
Any win is a good win.
Wait, who was this? Dan Blizzarine? Blizzarine?
I don't know who that is.
So I was calling someone this. Oh, this is it. Sorry. Florida Republican Dan Blizzarine was challenging incumbent Republican Congressman Randy Fine in the 6th Congressional District. This is in Florida. In a recent ad on online postings, Blizzarine is referred to Fine as a, quote, fat Jew, Shylock, and satanic whore, the New York Post noted. He also wondered whether it was worth revisiting Adolf Hitler's opinions.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know where the 6th Congressional District is.
So this is the Republican Party, and these are the people that when you say, you have a Nazi problem, they get really, really mad at you. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe if you didn't have so many fucking Nazis in your party, we wouldn't say you have a Nazi problem. I don't know. It's weird. All right. Let us get started because it is 10 after, and we have some people in here.
Oh, you know what? Florida's 6th Congressional District is up by St. Augustine. In Daytona. In Daytona. It's like that area over there. Is
that a problematic place?
No, I'm just my grandma lives in that area, but is she problematic? Yeah. She is 90 and they gave her driver's license. Lady can barely move.
Jesus Christ.
Come to Florida, we'll give you a license.
for driving and a gun.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is the Opinionated Ogre Podcast, your weekly rampage through current events with a little snark, a bit of foul language, and a lot of strong opinions. There are new episodes every Thursday, and they're not safe for work or polite company of any kind whatsoever. I am your podcast host, the Opinionated Ogre, and this is my co-host, Florida Woman. Hello, Florida Woman.
Good morning.
Are you, Florida Woman, going to open an account at Trump's new crypto bank? I'm sure it's going to be completely safe and not at all a haven for money laundering, for drug cartels and the Russian mob. Totally safe. Definitely legit.
No, because I think only morons invest in crypto.
And I don't think it's just going to be a crypto bank. I think it's going to be a regular bank too. So I'm definitely going to open a checking account at the Trump bank.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to have my money stolen.
Oh, yeah. No, that definitely would never happen. There's no way that bank is going to like over leverage or do anything shady. There's no way.
I say more. I say only morons invest in crypto. And if my husband listens to this episode, he's going to be like, excuse me?
Wait, he has money in crypto?
He has crypto. Yeah, like he plays with it. It goes up and down. So, hi Jordan.
Oh boy.
It's not a lot of money. He's not stupid.
I mean, I would put $5,000 in just to see what happens. Just to watch it go. Just, if I ever had like $5,000 to burn, which I don't, but it would be funny just to watch it go up and down and just watch it just to see what happens over time. Because Jesus Christ, crypto is like the biggest fucking scam.
For sure. You've been railing against crypto since like 2010.
I've been bitching about crypto for so long. I forgot I was bitching about crypto. You had to remind me I was bitching about it back then. Like back before it was even a thing. I forgot I was doing it that long ago. I don't even remember bitching about it that long ago. That's how long it's been. It's weird. Like when you said I was complaining about it back in 2010, I was like, I was? Really?
Yeah, you were. It was whenever like Bitcoin came out, you were like, oh, this is, the biggest scam. And
I honestly do not remember that.
You would argue about it. It was funny.
And it's insane. It's insane. It's just I'm glad I noticed it from the beginning. It was like, oh yeah, no, this is obviously bullshit. My instincts were apparently correct. All right. This is the recording for August 20th, 2026, and we have a lot to get to on episode 110 of the Og Pod. We ready to do this?
Yes.
All right, then let's get to it. It's time for the Ogre Nation News Update.
Roar. So, despite the regime's nonstop whining that we have no money to pay for food for hungry kids, or Medicare and Medicaid, or even Social Security, we always seem to have unlimited money for stupid shit. For example, Trump ordered the Navy to replace the electromagnetic aircraft launch systems and weapons elevators in the Gerald R. Ford class of aircraft carriers with steam-powered catapults that the military began using in the 1950s. So let's just rip out the advanced system and put in the 1950 system. That seems smart. Trump began the crusade against the electric launch systems after a sailor praised the steam systems in 2017. So this is almost a decade-long project for him. The Navy resisted the change for years because steam-powered catapults are slower, more expensive to maintain, about $100 million per year, and need more sailors to operate. There's about 500 less sailors on each ship, on the ships with the new electromagnetic launch systems. That's significant.
Yeah, especially when you put those ships out to sea and leave them out there for, 9 months.
Right. Jesus Christ. The new executive order will require the Navy to redesign the fourth ship class in the Ford class, starting with the USS Doris Miller. But experts have said the president's pet project will cost billions of dollars. I am shocked that he's going to spend billions of dollars on something.
It makes you
that
kind of
we don't
wonder
need.
who's going to get rich off of that.
Correct. General Atomics, the company that builds the electric system for the Ford class, released a statement saying the work on the Doris Miller is almost 50% complete, and, quote, changing course now would introduce significant cost, schedule, and integration risk. Further, the company warned, quote, the decision will have broader implications for carrier readiness, national security, and U.S. technological superiority, potentially creating opportunities for adversaries to close the capability gap. And just to be clear, like, China is already using they're outfitting theirs with electromagnetic launch systems. So we're going back in time and China's going forward. And aren't we supposed to be competing with them?
Yeah, basically, he just wants us to have old style ships. Also, if he wants us, wait, I don't know if you have this in here. Let me take a quick look. No, he wants us to move the tower on the, like, all right, so aircraft carriers have like the flight tower. He wants them moved back to where they were on the World War II ships. Like right now, if I'm remembering this correctly, they've been moved to the back of the ship as opposed to the middle of the ship. He wants them moved back to the middle of the ship because that's how they looked in World War II. And there's no reason to do that other than that's how he remembered them and that's how he wants them. This is just straight up, I don't like the way things are now because I'm old and I want things to go back to the way they were when I was younger, and I like things the way they were when I was younger.
Me too, but let's grow up.
This is just old people shit. And he's president, and he's like, well, I don't like this new stuff, and I don't like it, so I want it changed, and I'm the president, and I'm staying. You have to do what I say, because I'm the president, and I blah, 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 blah. And he's just ordering it that way because he thinks he's the fucking king of America, and it's just dumb, and it's counterproductive, and he's going to cost us billions and billions of fucking dollars and harm our national defense because he's a grumpy old asshole, which is fucking insane that everyone around him isn't looking at him saying, no, we're not fucking doing that because it's stupid and because you're an old grumpy person who just misses his childhood or, when he was 20s and 30s and that's how it used to be. Why can't we go back to? No, that's not how we're fucking doing that. Fuck off. It's just stupid. But everyone around him is saying, oh, yes, sir, because all the adults are gone from the fucking room now.
Right. There's no more guardrails. Moving on to more dumb, expensive shit Trump wants to do. Despite the court rulings against him, he's still demanding his name be put on the Kennedy Center. This time, the center's board voted to close the center for 2 years for renovations and add an inscription under Kennedy's name on the outside of the building that would read, quote, restored and renovated by President Donald J. Trump.
He's such a petty little fuck. And they still won't take that tarp down. It's still up because they don't want anyone to see that his name's not up there.
That's so stupid. I made a wrong turn one time and ended up in the Kennedy Center parking lot, and I panicked. I was like, what is this important building? So the board's vote was a response to a court ruling that forced them to remove Trump's name from the building on the basis that only Congress had the power to rename it. Trump's ego can't let this fight go, of course, because he can't let anything ever go.
Nope. He has to be winner. He has to win.
Other than starting wars and starving kids, his biggest accomplishment will be the vanity projects in DC. Let's count. He's torn down an entire wing of the White House to build a ballroom and a bunker. Replaced the floor of the portico outside of the Oval Office. It used to be New Hampshire slate on the floor, and now it's stuff from like Italy. It's granite from Italy, which is crazy. I don't think it was from New Hampshire, but anyways, nonetheless, the slate was from the United States, and now he's imported it from another country, even though we have the granite state here, which whatever. What a moron. He added a wall of presidents that degrades those who came before him. Put gold embellishments everywhere.
Tacky gold embellishments.
Including a sign that said the Oval Office that Obama made fun of. Painted the statues by the Lincoln Memorial gold. Is trying to add a walkway behind the memorial. Which I still don't understand why he wants to do that, because there's literally a path that goes down the Potomac River.
So he can slap his name on it.
That's true.
That's all. It's just on he can slap his name on.
Wants to build a massive arch that will block the view of the Lincoln Memorial from the Arlington National Cemetery, which is really important because when they built Arlington National Cemetery, they intentionally had a view that was a straight line from who was the president of the Confederacy that's house is there? Robert E. Lee. From Robert E. Lee's mansion to the Lincoln Memorial.
The general, not the president.
General Robert E. Lee. I'm so sorry. Well, he was the president of the Confederate. No, that was Jackson. Right? Jefferson. Fuck.
Davis. Yeah.
Davis. Jefferson.
Yeah, no,
Davis.
he was the losing general. Emphasis
That's
on
right.
losing.
Robert E. Lee was a losing general. And when they built Arlington, they intentionally had a straight line from his mansion to the Lincoln Memorial. And now Trump wants to block that view, which I understand that a lot of people won't understand the significance, but we do. We do. And now he wants to paint the Eisenhower Building's historic granite white, which will degrade the building. He's renovating Lafayette Square. And I am convinced that the Washington Memorial will soon be named the Washington Trump Memorial. And honestly, that would actually be fitting because if you've ever seen the Washington Memorial and really paid attention to it, it low-key looks like a KKK hat. So.
Oh, and didn't he renovate the Lincoln bathroom?
That's right.
Bedroom.
With all of that ugly marble.
Yep.
Yeah. Patrick points out that Arlington Cemetery was built on his land. Yes, it was built on General Robert E. Lee's land, which that's hilarious. I love the trolling there. And then speaking of the fucking ballroom, because God, haven't we all heard enough of that? Or we haven't heard enough of that. The $900 billion for the stupid ballroom is being called a national security issue. But when he first proposed the ballroom, he claimed that it was necessary to entertain guests because he hated the white tents that are put up on the lawn when the number of guests exceeds what can sit at the tables in the White House.
And it wasn't going to cost us anything. It wasn't
going to cost us anything. And then once he realized that the American people wanted nothing to do with the monstrosity that will be bigger than the White House itself, which is just insane, he and his allies announced that a bunker was being built under it to protect him and future presidents. Last week, the regime asked the Supreme Court to allow it to finish the ballroom after lower court struck his plans down. Trump it's
900 million, not 900 billion.
900 million. Which I got right here because I put nearly $1 billion.
Yep.
So Trump is now calling those who object to the nearly $1 billion vanity project treasonous and disloyal.
Wait, did he actually use the word treasonous?
Yes, he did.
That's not a word, though.
It is now, motherfucker. So is Bigley. They're Bigley treasonists. Throwing it back to 2015.
before you finish up here, his thing that he's going to the Supreme Court about, because even though the courts said stop building it, he's still having them build it.
Yeah,
he's having them rush it as much as he possibly can. And what he's going to the Supreme Court to say is, oh, we're so far along, we just can't stop now. That's his excuse, is that they're so far along that stopping it now would be crazy. They just have to be allowed to finish it. What would be the point of not finishing it? That's going to be his. That's the rationale they're using with the Supreme Court. And the whole national security thing.
Right, we're defying your orders and continuing to do what we're not supposed to be doing. But can't tear it down now.
Yep.
It reminds me of this guy in my town who built a houseboat. Not like a houseboat, but it was like an actual structure out in the intercoastal waterway. And when the county was like, "Hey, that's not legal," he was like, "But it's already here."
Oops.
And they said,
Okay.
"No, we don't care. Tear it down." So while Americans starve and babies die and we all suffer, the federal government is throwing our money at his little projects like they're at a strip club and Trump's the one who's dancing on the fucking pole. And every single person enabling it needs to go to prison when this regime falls.
You know what the amazing thing is going to be when the regime falls, and the Democrats are in charge again, and we start undoing all of this bullshit. Republicans are going to be out there screaming bloody murder. You can't waste the money on that. That's a waste of taxpayer money, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, hold on. You gave him a blank check to do this in the first place when the economy, like right now, we are growing the deficit, not the deficit, the debt and the deficit at the fastest pace ever in American history. We're at, I don't even know what we're at now. We're at like what, $40 trillion or some insane fucking number that Trump has exploded the debt faster than even he did in his first time in office. And that was the fastest it had ever grown in American history. And Republicans are just writing him blank check after blank check after blank check to do all of this. And they're going to go, it's like, well, you can't spend that money. You can't spend that money. That's incredible. That's crazy. You can't spend that money to do any of this. And it's going to be like, you know what? Fuck off. Just fuck off with all of that.
I'm actually surprised that they haven't tried to create a star for him outside of the Warner Theater in downtown, where the Walk of Fame is, in DC. Like, I feel like that's going to be next.
I'm sure the second Stephen Miller thinks of it, he's like, I got to keep my job safe for another week. What other things can I suggest to keep him mollified and stop paying attention to me?
Yeah, it's crazy.
TV says the Führer bunker is actually a great idea because you know how that Germany guy died in his little vanity project. I know. All right, let us move on. Let us move on to the ogre who saw the future. So sit back and let your old Uncle Ogre tell you a little story. Once upon a time, during the 2018 Blue Wave, a freshman congresswoman popped up in New York City, and her name was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She was part of the Squad, a group of enthusiastically progressive elected officials who embraced democratic socialism. You may have heard of it. The GOP went to war against her immediately, and the progressive left loved her. So did the alt-left. Those are the fake progressives who poisoned the real progressive left. But your old Uncle Ogre knew AOC would become, very shortly, public enemy number one of the alt-left. There was something about her, you see. Something true and sincere. Sure, she was a democratic socialist, and she was not happy with where the Democratic Party was. But she wanted to move things to the left, not burn it all down to the ground. More importantly, she was not interested in centering white men. And that led me to predict with absolute certainty way back in mid-2019 that the alt-left, again, the fake progressives poisoning the actual real left, that they would absolutely fucking hate her. I knew this as sure as I knew that the sun would rise the next day. Time passed, and the alt-left, again, the fake progressives, they soured on AOC. But they didn't make too much noise about it because she was the weapon of choice for the right to bash Democrats. And that was useful for them, or at least they thought it was, because it didn't really work out for them. As much as the GOP and the right-wing media screamed and jumped up and down and just, oh my God, AOC, she's the face of the Democratic Party and she's a socialist and blah 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 blah. That didn't really work out. Instead of damaging the Democrats, Republicans handed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez a massive platform to build her brand from, and she used it very, very well. She pushed progressive policies and backed progressive candidates, all while building an extensive power base in the Democratic Party. She never stopped being a democratic socialist, but she never became part of the Democratic establishment exactly. And now she's on the brink of becoming a Category 5 hurricane. Oopsie. Here's the thing. Millennials and Gen Z voters are poised to be the power in the 2028 election, easily overwhelming boomers and my generation, which is Gen X. And millennials and Gen Z very much like democratic socialism. And Bernie's still their guy. Guess who's going to be backing AOC? Yeah, he's not going to be backing the establishment. He's going to be backing her. And AOC is making all the right noises for running for president. And wouldn't you know it, my good friends on the alt left, again, the fake progressives who've been trying to poison the left for decades, they're having a full-blown meltdown over this. Post Left Watch on Blue Sky. He's also on Twitter. Well, I'm assuming it's a he. I don't know. But Post Left Watch on Blue Sky has been keeping track of the collective freakout of the alt left. It's been amazing. Glenn Greenwald has been crying to Tucker Carlson that AOC is just another Nancy Pelosi. She's not a progressive radical at all. And you know who else had AOC pegged back in the day as a phony? Marjorie Taylor Greene, because sure, she's trustworthy as a judge of character. Cenk Uygur, close personal friend of the pod, wants you to know that AOC is a fraud. He's also, he knows she's a fraud. She's not an FDR who's going to implement a progressive agenda. She's just actually a Christian cinema who's going to sell us out for money and fame. And who is Cenk talking to? Glenn Greenwald. Huh. So weird. Brianna Joy Gray, super progressive Brianna Joy Gray.
Isn't that the one who goes to like award shows wearing MAGA dresses?
No, does she?
No, maybe not.
No, I don't think so. But she totally knows so many people on the left who would vote for Tucker Carlson, literally a white nationalist, before AOC. And she wouldn't vote for AOC either because reasons. So what's happening here? If you've been listening to your old Uncle Ogre, you should recognize the pattern by now. AOC is the most dangerous threat to the alt-left, the fake progressives, in generations. She's an actual democratic socialist. She's popular. She's charismatic. She's really fucking smart. And she's very well liked in the party and has a power base in it. Younger voters are really hungry for her kind of politics. And we're facing a wave election, not just this year. We're still going to be facing a wave election in 2028, where Republicans are going to be massively unpopular after 4 years of violent fascism and failed authoritarian economics. By 2028, boomers are going to have lost their electoral power. There's going to be less than 60 million of them voting because they're dying. Gen X, we never had any electoral power because we were never that big of a generation and no one pays attention to us anyway. AOC running for president and winning, having a Congress that's not going to fight her tooth and nail would make huge sweeping changes, kind of like Mayor Zoran Madami has been doing. Remember, the alt-left does not exist to advance the progressive agenda. It exists to rat fuck the left and keep Republicans in power. It exists to divide the left and stop us from fixing the damage Republicans cause. They've been doing this for decades. They see AOC as an existential threat to their owners in the GOP. They will work non-stop between now and November of 2028 to convince younger voters that she is a liar and a fraud and a sellout, which is exactly what I said they would do 7 long fucking years ago. Is that going to work? Depends on how stupid we are as a company. But
Country.
as what I say,
Company.
country, close enough.
I
But
mean, we are a company, really.
yeah, but when I tell you I know who these people are, believe me, I haven't been wrong about them in a fucking decade. They're incredibly predictable. And once you see them for who they are, the Cenk Uygurs, the Matt Taibbis, the Glenn Greenwalds, the Brianna Joy Grays, they just do this over and over and over. They're Republican rat fuckers. And once you see them, you'll know exactly what they're going to do, literally years before they do it. Now, I wrote about this yesterday. I don't think it's going to work because too many people want what AOC is going to be giving, is what she's going to be, delivering. And when these guys go out there and say, she's just Nancy Pelosi, she's a corporate sellout, and she's going out to saying, I want universal health care, I want daycare for kids, I want this, I want that. And they're like, no, it's not enough. They're going to be like, what are you fucking talking about? This is exactly what we've been asking for the last 10, 15 years. What are you talking about? No, she's not progressive enough. They're going to be like, okay, but you talk to Tucker Carlson. You're friends with Tucker Carlson, the white nationalist, the fucking Nazi who hangs out with Nick Fuentes. Why am I listening to you, Cenk fucking Uygur? Why am I listening to Anna Kasparian, who fucking hates trans women and complains about homeless people and thinks they're disgusting and she's terrified of them? Why would I ever listen to your fucking dumbass? And they're going to be like, yeah, no, I'll go listen to Bernie Sanders and AOC. Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck off to Fox News and hang out with Glenn Greenwald some more. And I'm very much looking forward to that because it's going to be really, really fucking funny. And I personally look forward to voting for President AOC. But we're going to see. So, yeah. All right. Story time is over. Let us move on.
Joy Villa is the one or Joy Villa is the one who wears the Trump dresses. So you've probably heard the news about the surrogacy fight happening in Texas. If not, here's what happened. Alaskan nurse McKenna West became a surrogate for Nasheen Gilkar and Omar Ahmed of California. The couple entered a contract with West that had a clause giving them the right to ask the surrogate to terminate the pregnancy if a fetal anomaly was found. Standard clause. At 20 weeks, the doctors informed West and the couple that the fetus had hypoplastic left heart syndrome. That's a condition where the left side of the heart, including the arteries, do not develop and leads to painful surgeries for the baby and possibly even heart transplant. The couple reportedly asked West to terminate the pregnancy, but she refused. Instead, she cut off contact with the biological parents and took the fight to the forced birth websites. She claimed that the parents were pressuring her to kill the baby, and of course, it immediately became the new pet project of the right.
Of course.
West then fled to Texas, where the state law basically doesn't acknowledge surrogacy and states that the person who gives birth to the baby is the mother. She began claiming that she's the mother of the baby, even though she's not. Biologically, that baby is not hers.
So basically, she kidnapped it.
Yeah, she kidnapped the baby. That's how I feel about that. 2 days before the baby was born, with the help of a conservative Christian organization, Alliance Defending Freedom, she filed for custody of the baby and the right to make medical decisions.
That's impressive.
For him. Because kidnapping wasn't enough. She wanted to legally steal the baby. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, yes, the same Ken Paxton that is running for the Senate and was tried for fraud and all kinds of other corrupt charges, got involved and proclaimed that he was going to protect the child in West. Well, The baby was born in Dallas. West named the child that isn't hers, Gabriel. And as an aside, I've actually been disappointed to see legit media sites calling the baby Gabriel. That is not his fucking name. His real name is Rumi, because, he has actual parents. The court granted Gilkar and Ahmed physical custody of their child and a restraining order against West. They are now seeking care for his heart condition. I believe he had surgery and he's recovering from it. And while they're doing everything to make sure that their child lives, Paxton is fighting to give West the right to make medical choices for the child.
That's fucking creepy as shit.
Understand what that means. A Republican official is attempting to circumvent surrogacy laws in other states. Because remember, West is from Alaska and the parents are from California. To allow a lunatic to legally kidnap a baby. And right now, it's just in Texas. But what happens? What happens when that spreads? Remember when we said last week that the ideas on the fringe right never stay fringe? There's another case in Florida where a woman agreed to be the surrogate for a Chinese man, a Chinese national. He was in China. She was pregnant with triplets. She gave birth to the triplets. He couldn't get over here because of visa reasons to pick up the babies when they were born. So she took the triplets home. One of them, unfortunately, passed away.
Oof.
And then he sent surrogates who actually had, like, not a surrogate, like having the baby, but other people for him. He gave them permission to pick up his children. She refused to hand over the children to him, to his surrogates. And then she filed for custody. She changed their birth certificate and listed herself as the mother. And now Rick Scott is fighting for her to keep those babies. And it's been 2 years and she hasn't given the kids to the father.
Wow.
All while Florida is declaring him like a child trafficker, and she's saying like, oh, I believe that he's trafficking those children and all of that stuff. So in Texas and in Florida, they're allowing surrogate parents to steal babies.
That's a slippery ass slope, because once you can take someone's baby as a surrogate, it's just a matter of time. It's like, well, I don't think this person's a fit parent, so I've declared myself as a proper good Christian to take the baby away from those parents, because I don't like these parents. These gay parents adopted this kid a couple of years ago, but I'm a good Christian and I don't think they should have that baby anymore, so I'm going to take it away from them. I'm going to take this baby and adopt it as my own because I think I'm a more fit parent. And as a good Christian, I believe it's my Christian duty to save this child from these unfit parents. And of course, Republicans would be like, well, of course, that's her religious beliefs, her strongly held religious right to save that child from unfit parents. This is just the groundwork for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the fight for baby Ruby in Texas and then the kids in Florida are highlighting a major problem with surrogacy laws around the country, because there are no federal surrogacy laws, which means that parents are entering into agreements to have children that could end up in this kind of nightmare because the federal government hasn't stepped in to protect biological parents, which I find crazy.
Remember, the Supreme Court loves contract law. Like you always have to uphold contract law, except when it's convenient for them not to uphold contracts. Then it's no, we don't actually believe in contracts. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, and in both of these cases, powerful Republican politicians are trying to facilitate the kidnapping of someone else's biological children. And if they succeed, it would completely upend surrogacy around America. And nothing could stop a surrogate from just going to a state like Texas or Florida and being like, this is my baby now. So it's very, very scary. It's very scary.
These people are the fucking worst.
Yeah, fuck them.
All right. Before we move on to the next section, as always, we have no sponsors or advertisers, and we probably never will. So we appreciate anything you can send our way. If you'd like to throw us a small tip, the QR codes for both PayPal and Venmo are up on the screen. Just scan it, and you can help us out because we both have kids in college, and that would be most appreciated.
Yeah, you could be our children's sponsor.
All right.
So-
We are now moving on to Florida Woman's favorite segment of the show. You scream. Sorry. I scream. You scream. We all scream because of fucking ice.
So we didn't get to this last week because I wasn't here. But I still wanted to talk about it because I think it's really important. The regime is now being pressured by their xenophobic, racist-ass base to carry out the mass deportations of 350,000 Haitians who lost temporary protected status thanks to the most corrupt Supreme Court justices in history. During the 2024 campaign, Trump and Republicans targeted Haitian immigrants with really, really vile rhetoric. We all remember they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats lie from Trump. And the right was really, really angry about the influx of Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, especially J.D. Vance, that motherfucker.
I mean, he literally said he was making up the story about the cats and dogs.
He did.
He literally said it. He admitted it out loud, and they were just like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah. So even though the residents in Springfield don't share their racist sentiment, they're like, they love their neighbors.
Yeah, they love them. They helped revitalize that entire area for economically. Yep. They love them there.
Hold on a second. Hey, I need you to brush your teeth, please. Congratulations. Sorry, parenting never stops when you're homeschooling. So the lack of so in the week since the racist justices allowed Trump to eliminate TPS for the migrants, about 50 of them from the Springfield area have been called into immigration and given ankle monitors. ICE is really only targeting that area right now. And there's confusion in DHS and ICE about whether to start targeting them across the country. One of the issues is that the island is experiencing severe political violence since the assassination of its president a few years ago, and gangs have pretty much taken over control.
And remember, one of the reasons that so many of them are here in the first place is because Haiti got devastated by a massive fucking earthquake, and it already had political turmoil to begin with. So the island's a fucking train wreck to begin with.
And then they got hit by other storms in recent years.
Yeah, they've just had Haiti was never in a good place to begin with, and they just had a really brutal run of bad luck.
So the lack of action from ICE is causing people like Steve Bannon, remember the guy who conned people out of millions of dollars to build a wall, and then Trump gave him a pardon?
He's such a nice guy. What a nice man.
It's causing Steve Bannon to lash out at DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullen, what a name, or Mullen, what a name. I can't even imagine me naming my child Markwayne.
They couldn't decide.
Bannon said the regime should have had buses and planes ready for mass deportations of the migrants right away. Quote, 100% of Haitians should have already left the country. It's unacceptable that they're not. Mullen told News Nation that the regime is giving Haitians the opportunity to leave on their own. What he didn't mention is that the regime is also facing pressure from Republicans who understand the economic ramifications to some industries if Haitian migrants are deported en masse. It's not just them, though. There are migrants from 11 other countries who have seen their TPS eliminated. 4 others, including my husband's country, will likely lose their status this fall. One of my family members just got her TPS that she applied for last year. It's never been this late. And because it came so late, only a month ago, she only has a license until September. And then she'll lose it again.
Yay.
In total, Trump's move to eliminate the humanitarian program that Congress signed into law in 1990 will leave over 1.3 immigrants without status. And as we have
1.3
all
million.
1. What did I say?
1.3.
Oh, sorry. 1.3 million immigrants without status. And as we have always said, the regime never, ever, 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 ever cared about whether immigrants were legal or not. They always intended to go after all of them.
Unless they're from South Africa. They've imported over 10,000 South African white people. Of course,
Yeah.
not no one else, but 10,000 South African immigrants have been let into the country in the last year, which is that's been pretty much the only immigration they've allowed into the country. Has been 10,000 white people, presumably all hardcore white nationalists, which makes you wonder what they're doing with those people. Anyway, aside from the murders in the last over the last month, you'll notice that ICE has not been in the headlines as much, and that has been by design. While Stephen Miller and his Nazi flunky Greg Bovino, who please, dear God, let him run for president, they used ICE to terrorize immigrant communities as loudly as possible. Mark Wayne Mullen has been pursuing the white nationalist agenda of purging America of those people without making splashy Nazi headlines. A quieter fascism, if you will. Mullen has been trying to be the reasonable Nazi, and it's been pissing Trump off a lot. MAGAland's already pissed off, but now so is Trump. Mullen's still terrorizing immigrants and deporting tens of thousands of people, but he's not making his racism big and splashy and performative. And without the public cruelty, MAGA can't masturbate themselves to sleep every night. And they're getting mad at Trump because it was never about the end result of a whiter America. It was always about the violence and the sadism because they're genocidal monsters. Never forget that.
Well, ICE has announced that shooting immigrants and Americans wasn't enough for its agents. They'd like to also electrocute them. The agency recently announced that it was spending $20 million on a product known as GLOVE, or generated low output voltage emitter. Like the acronym. I'll never live that down.
No, you never will.
Like the acronym indicates, these are gloves ICE agents would wear, and they would deliver painful shocks to suspects. ICE claims the tool is necessary as a, quote, distraction and de-escalation device.
Which is bullshit, but whatever. They never de-escalate, so I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They never, ever de-escalate.
I actually saw a report, just really quickly, I saw a report recently where they pulled this person out of a car on the side of a busy highway, and then they claimed that they had to leave the area really quickly because there was like violent protesters in the area, but there was a local news crew standing on the sidewalk across while the arrest was happening, and they took footage of it, and it never showed anybody there at all except for the news crew and the police or the ICE agents, and the ICE agents left the car in the middle of the street and almost caused accidents because people were driving down this busy street and a car.
Jesus fucking Christ. They're just morons. They're so they're so poorly trained. They're more dangerous than they would be if they actually were trained, which is a problem. But they're just morons to begin with. But no one ever said Nazis were smart.
Yeah, exactly. Well, following outrage from the public, Democratic lawmakers began speaking out against the devices. Senator Adam Schiff slammed Republicans for not reining in ICE when they had the chance, but instead giving them billions of dollars after they killed Americans and immigrants in our street. He said, quote, now ICE is looking to purchase electrical shock gloves that are to continue terrorizing our communities, and asked, quote, how soon will they be used to inflict further cruelty? Well, that's an easy fucking answer. Immediately.
The first time there's a video of them using it on like a kid, people are going to be like, oh my God, we didn't know they were going to do that. It's like, yes, you did. We all knew they were going to do that because they're aching. They're dying to grab some 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 14-year-old kid and shock them because that's what they get off on. They think it's
Right.
hilarious to hurt people.
Right. I mean, ICE is immediately going to use the gloves to inflict further pain on whoever they come in contact with: immigrants, abuelas, abuelos, children, pregnant women, protesters. Nobody will be safe because cruelty is the fucking point. Again, cruelty is the fucking point. And when the regime falls, and it will, they must all be held accountable. As we always say, Nuremberg them all.
All right.
Ugh.
So we haven't done this section in a while. We haven't done one of these sections in a while, but it's time for Scenes from a Crashing Economy.
Your sound effects remind me of the Friend episode where Ross learns how to play the keyboard. You never watched Friends. I'm gonna have to send it to you.
No, I went and looked up that scene because you've mentioned that before.
It's just you like.
So this is one of those stories most people aren't going to be paying attention to because it doesn't mean anything unless you're a bit of a nerd or you've been deliberately looking for massive red flags. But that is what you have us for. The New York Times, the New York fucking Times, did a throwaway report on buy now, pay later lenders upping their sales pitch to include stuff like electric bills and rent. This is
No.
Oh, yeah. The lending apps Flex and Zip allow customers to take out loans to pay for their broadband, electricity, health insurance, mobile phone service, mortgage, and water bills. Affirm, one of the most popular pay later apps, has started providing some tenants loans to extend their monthly rent payment for a few weeks. Many dentists, veterinarians, and medical clinics now offer instant pay later financing, and Intuit this year started promoting file now, pay.
Hold on. You're breaking up for a second. Can you start that again?
From where?
From the Affirm.
Affirm, one of the most popular pay later apps, has started providing some tenants loans to extend their monthly rent payments for a few weeks. Many dentists, veterinarians, and medical clinics now offer instant pay later financing, and Intuit this year started promoting file now, pay later loans to TurboTax users who owe money in their tax return. Pay later loans are becoming the, quote, working capital for the modern middle class, said Karen Webster, the chief executive of Paymentz, Pymnts, a news and marketing research company for the payments industry. Consumers are using it for more essential everyday things. In 2025, people ran $160 billion in debt through these companies. That's on top of the $2 to $3 trillion in credit card debt American households now hold. That is the sound of an engine choking and stalling. That's unsustainable. And it's what happened in 2008, 2009. When these companies started to collapse because people couldn't pay what they owed, the domino effect is going to trigger just like it did last time, and they're going to run to the federal government for a massive bailout just like last time. But that's not going to stop people from losing their jobs and their homes and their pensions, because the rich get socialism, we get a fuck you. And that's when a new Tea Party will magically appear to tell us to be mad at the Democrats, not Wall Street. Except I don't think that's going to work this time. And that's when things are going to get super, super fucking ugly. And I can't wait. One other thing, I didn't put this in the notes because I just saw it last night. I saw several videos about this on TikTok, which normally I don't, go to TikTok for news exactly. But the NASDAQ, which is one of the things people keep track of for Wall Street, people are starting to hedge funds, the big hedge funds, right? These are the people with tons and tons of money. They buy stocks. They bet on this, that, and the other. They're starting to short NASDAQ, which means they're betting against NASDAQ.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes. The people with money, the people who watch this stuff professionally and move billions of dollars are now betting against NASDAQ, which means they're expecting NASDAQ to drop a lot because, you don't bet against if it's only going to drop a point or two, a little bit here, a little bit there. You bet when it's going to move in large ways, which means these hedge funds, the ones with the big money, are expecting a bubble to pop. It could be the AI bubble or it could be the banking bubble, right? There's two bubbles going on right now. And I don't know which one they're betting on, but they're definitely betting on at least one, if not both of them getting ready to pop sometime in the very near future. So that's not good. This is the thing that we've been talking about for quite some time. Those bubbles bubbles always pop. And we talked about, actually, wait, did we talk about that? The government bailing out Japan. Did we talk about that on here?
No.
We pumped in a whole shitload of money into the Japanese economy to keep their economy from collapsing, because that keeps our economy propped up, and it didn't work. The Japanese economy is still spiraling out of control, even though we gave them a shit ton of money to bail them out. So this is starting to pick up steam, and yeah, Dr. Lovelow over here. Japan's economy is going to collapse by the end of October, and that's just one of those domino things. They go down, it hits us very, very hard, and well, that's one of the things that the regime's trying to avoid. We're all interconnected, and oil prices are still going up because no matter how often Trump says the Strait of Hormuz is open, it fucking isn't. Shipping is not going through the Strait of Hormuz, and we can't make Iran open it. So the economy is teetering on the edge of kaboom. And even though Bob is here to tell us how cute and adorable he is, that's not going to help the economy. So buckle in, people. It's going to be a rough ride. All right. Time to move on.
On to headlines for short attention spans. So the me's of the world. Donald Trump took some time to remind everybody what a creepy pervert he is by rambling about beautiful young girls over and over and over and over again, and how they desperately wanted to meet him at the White House. His comments came during a speech in front of a crowd of law enforcement officers outside of New York City. He started taking credit for the crime rate in D.C., even though it's been dropping for years. He claimed that it was actually not dropping for years, but it was due to the National Guard deployment in the city.
It really isn't.
Yeah. And as a reminder, he wasn't able to deploy those same troops during the insurrection. But,
So weird.
Isn't that strange? I don't know why that is. That was Nancy Pelosi's fault, though. My bad. The pervert in chief claimed, quote, "Every day I come to the White House and people are thanking me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. These young, beautiful girls, these young, beautiful girls, these young, beautiful girls in the White House." It's an actual quote. They come in. And now I'm not supposed to say beautiful, but what the hell?
Wait, do they have tears in their eyes? He forgot about tears in their eyes. That's a thing with them. Tears in his eyes. They have tears in their eyes when they say, "Thank you, sir. Thank you."
Yeah, the gross rambling speech reminded me of that one time that a group of little girls walked by him at Trump Tower. Do you remember that? There was a video of it during the 2015 election, and he claimed that he'd be dating one of them in 10 years. He's just so...
He's so fucking disgusting.
Yes. And as Antoine Dodson once said from the viral news clip, "Hide your kids, hide your wife."
Dr. Lovelove, sorry.
Lolove. He's bad with names.
His picket Palm Beach County Clerk of Courts just got arrested for sexually abusing his fucking grandson. Wow, what? A Republican is a pedophile? No fucking way. Wait,
yeah, it's actually a huge scandal here right now.
Hold on. Oh, it's a day ending in Y. Of course the Republican's a pedophile. It's just every fucking day with these people.
Yeah, you should actually read about. Oh, sorry, guys. You should actually read about that because it's pretty crazy.
These people are fucking monsters. And I'm telling you, a decade from now, they're going to be arguing that this is perfectly natural and biblical. And why are people so mad about it? It's just going to be a thing for them. And they're going to be like, and the press is going to be like, well, it's a matter of opinion on whether or not sex with children is normal. Can't wait. I'm telling you, it's going to be like every time I hear a reporter, I'm just going to want to walk up to them and punch him in the face. It's like, fuck you. Drink fucking bleach. Anyway, tech CEOs.
And that, my friends, is why we don't have any sponsors.
Yep, pretty much. So
please send us money.
Because God knows no one else is going to. So tech CEOs are so full of shit, it's embarrassing. If you have not been paying attention to the perpetual hype machine that is Silicon Valley, you should know that every other day the predictions get more and more stupid and outrageous. The reason for this is because the only way for these CEOs to keep their companies from collapsing into a black hole is to sucker investors into pouring billions into businesses that burn through money faster than nerds like me at a never-ending anime convention. So they're not investing in today, you see. They're investing in the future profits, and those future profits are unlimited. So it only makes sense to give Elon Musk $1 trillion because Tesla, the company that hasn't made a penny in profit in years, will one day make $20 quadrillion, and every investor will be a trillionaire too. For real. And if you believe that, Dylan Taylor, the billionaire founder and CEO of Voyager Technologies, wants to send you to the moon. He says we're definitely going to have cities on the moon within a decade. And,
on the moon?
Oh, yeah. And that definitely means people should keep investing in his company, his space company. Totally legit. We're going to be working on the moon, and we're going to be mining on the moon, and people are going to be, just commuting back and forth to the moon. So honestly, when the Silicon Valley bubble pops and Trump gives these people $1 trillion bailout, while bread lines stretch for miles, the tech CEOs should all be dragged down to the street and skinned alive. And that also is why we don't get any sponsors.
I was just thinking, like, again, that's why we're not getting sponsors.
I'm telling you, if there's a company out there that's making fucking guillotines, they should be our sponsor. We will definitely run a sponsorship for, guillotines are us. Because it's not a revolution unless it's French, yo.
Oh, God. Maybe we could borrow the guillotine from the insurrectionists when they wanted to take care of Mike Pence. Oh, okay. My God. So the DOJ is still bothering Kilmar Abrego Garcia, because why not? On Monday, federal prosecutors filed an appeal in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit to reinstate the criminal charges against Abrego Garcia. Now, if you remember, the DOJ had charged him with human trafficking. They claimed that he was driving from Maryland to Texas several times a week with his children in a trip that wasn't even possible. It was not possible. The district court dropped the case against the Salvadoran immigrant earlier this year, ruling that it was likely a vindictive prosecution because they were mad that they had to bring him back from CCOT and, treat him like a human being.
What? That's terrible.
The DOJ claimed that the district court order was erroneous at every step. Prosecutors also basically admitted that they were prosecuting him because of the immigration case, saying the government had an obvious interest in protecting the public by prosecuting Abrego after the courts ordered his return.
Oh, boo-hoo.
So they're literally admitting that they prosecuted because he was returned to the United States. So, fuck these people.
And speaking of the DOJ, let us mark this story under least surprising revelation since we found out that Trump's name was in the Epstein files more times than Harry Potter's name was in the entire fucking series about Harry fucking Potter. CBS reports that a whistleblower, who will undoubtedly be investigated and charged with a made-up crime shortly, has filed a complaint about the regime's multiple attacks on universities last year for anti-Semitism. This is from CBS. The Trump administration pressured its career civil rights attorneys to investigate allegations of anti-Semitism at the university campuses of Harvard, Columbia, and Brown, even though there was no factual or legal basis to do so, according to a former Justice Department attorney. Haley Van Arum, a longtime lawyer at the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division, accused political leadership at the Department of Health and Human Services and DOJ of improperly pushing staff to issue adverse findings against all three schools as part of a whistleblower complaint made public on Tuesday by Maryland Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin. It was so fucking obvious this was bullshit from the beginning. And what made it even worse was how the legacy press played along, as if systemic anti-Semitism was a real problem on campuses.
Hey,
Now-
really quickly, didn't they just lose against Harvard?
Yep. Now, was there a problem with some of the Gaza protests? Abso-fucking-lutely. We've talked about this repeatedly for the last 2 years. And if you still don't think screaming that Israel should be destroyed and all the Jews sent back to Europe isn't hate speech, well, then fuck you, you bigot. But that's not the same as the university engaging in systemic discrimination, and everybody fucking knew it. The ones that caved will be shamed for eternity. Columbia, Brown, University of Virginia, etc., all covered themselves in disgrace. Harvard told Trump to fuck off, and he's been losing in court for over a year, and he just lost again. You just mentioned it. Because of course he's lost. It was all garbage that would never hold up under the slightest bit of scrutiny. And now we have whistleblowers which makes everyone that played along look even more fucking pathetic.
And you know who's playing along real hard? John fucking Fetterman. I was telling Ogre about this recently. I watched the interview between him and Jon Stewart, and it was a really good interview because you were just like, what the fuck? I actually believe the stroke did more damage than we initially thought. During the thing, he mentioned, and this is something that I've heard said repeatedly. Well, Israel's not committing a genocide because if they wanted to commit a genocide, they could do it quickly. And Jon Stewart was like, it doesn't mean like
doing it slow doesn't mean it's not.
Yeah, doing it slow doesn't mean that you're not killing a group of people.
Like it took us decades and decades and decades and decades and decades to wipe out the Native Americans. It doesn't mean it wasn't a genocide.
Yeah, and then he said, well, they're just collateral damage.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, so that's our guy.
Yep. Not for much longer.
Much longer.
When this regime falls and the tribunals begin, every fucking collaborator should be made to suffer what they've done. Like we keep saying, Nuremberg them all.
Oh, that was close. We almost got that one. After 110 episodes. Well, let's wrap up some headlines with some good news. Democratic turnout is through the roof in several states. That's another sign that Republicans are absolutely fucked in November, and we could not be happier.
Womp womp.
According to the AP, Dems are turning out in numbers not seen in decades in this year's primaries. For example, in Wisconsin, they cast almost 800,000 votes. That's the highest total in over 20 years. Michigan had a record turnout of 1.5 million Democrats. That was, like I said, a record turnout. That's great news for us. As I mentioned earlier on the show, before the show, Sarasota County in Florida has been controlled by their school board has been controlled by vile fucking Republicans for 4 years, and Republicans just lost control of the school board last night. So this is outstanding news, and that's happening in in a county where Republicans outnumber Democrats by almost 2-1.
Damn.
Yeah. So hopefully we keep this going in November and stomp those bitches into the ground. but I mean that figuratively. So whoever's listening to us, it's a joke. We don't mean it literally.
Now, the funny thing about that we got this from the AP. We got this from the AP News, right? The title for that particular article was Democratic primary turnout has soared in some states. Can it carry over to November? Which was the framing there. When Republicans are doing really well in primaries, no one ever asks if it's going to carry over to November. It's always framed as Democrats are doomed. The Republican primary is up. The turnout is up. Democrats are fucking doomed. Blah, blah, blah. When Democratic turnout goes through the roof, they don't talk about how Republicans are doomed. They're like, boy, I don't know. Can Democrats keep it going? It's like, man, when Republicans are doing badly, it's always a question about whether or not Democrats can keep it going. When Democrats are doing badly, Democrats are doomed. It's always the fucking same with the press. Always the fucking same with them. It's always the fucking same. They always just put their thumb on the fucking scales. It's very fucking annoying. All right, let's keep the good news going. The price of gas is up. That's not the good news. The good news is that Trump is so fucking stupid that he's telling the American public to just suck it up and pay more. Mr. Man of the people. He's so detached from the everyday lived experience of Americans. He has no idea how he sounds. This is from Reuters. Quote, he told a political rally in Garden City, New York on Friday that paying a tiny bit more for your gasoline is worth the cost of ensuring a very evil country, because he's a fucking 2-year-old, could not have a nuclear weapon, one of his stated rationales for the war. After we finish defeating Iran, pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait, no one calls it the Hormuz Strait, a territory of the United States, said Trump. And he's been posting that on his stupid little blog, like a picture of the Strait of Hormuz as United States territory.
What the fuck?
These are not the words of a leader. These are the ramblings of a moron who has no idea how pissed off his own voters are at how expensive gas is, along with everything else. But what does he care? It's not his problem, and the people don't matter anyway. The little people, who cares about them? This is definitely a winning message. Pay more. It's fine. Definitely a winning message just 10 weeks before the midterms. Good job.
Yeah, and we're paying a lot fucking more, man.
Yep. One last bit of good news, this time from Texas. James Tallarico is raising so much money, he has to keep giving some of it back. Notice reports that Tallarico has raised over $70 million, and so many donors are donating over the legal limit, he's had to refund about $1 million so far. That's an insane amount of enthusiasm in a state that we haven't won a statewide office in decades. The regime is almost certainly going to try to make a thing about it, but that's just begging to make the Streisand effect kick in. Giving a ton of free publicity to a Democrat in a state Republicans cannot afford to lose, and he's running against Ken Paxton, our good friend we just talked about before, who is a uniquely shitty and corrupt and unpopular candidate. So please, we're begging you, GOP, we dare you to try to make a fucking case about this. Please go out and say, oh, he's getting too much money. It's blah, blah, blah. Please make a big public fucking scandal about that. What could possibly go wrong for you? Tee-hee. All right. It is time to move on. Let's wrap up the show here with some self-care of the week.
So, as you know, I was not here last week. I know that you all missed me.
Wait, you weren't here last week?
My son broke down. His car broke down on the interstate while he was driving to work. He never works during the week. And of course, the one time he works during the week, his car breaks down. So I happened to call him at like 6:30 in the morning because I saw that he was awake. I was like, oh, that's weird. And then he was driving. And I was like, let me just call him, see how my baby's doing. And he goes, Mom, what do I do when my car is overheated? And I'm like, pull over. He goes, I already am. I was like, oh, thank God. So my husband and I both took the day off of work and rescued him. I will say that he was in the worst absolute possible spot and handled it so much better than I would have. Well, I mean, I don't think that I would have sat there for 2 hours, but it's okay. The poor kid was in the left emergency lane during rush hour traffic at the exit for downtown Tampa on I-275. And he said for the first hour, cars were flying by him at like 80 miles per hour.
Oof.
Yeah. Fortunately, he was all good. He survived. His dad replaced the coolant reservoir in his car. His car is like 10 years old now, and it just hit 120,000 miles, and it's an American model, so you know how that is like, stuff starts failing. I feel like so many things have failed recently. I'm like, give me a break, kid. But whatever. The day after the car incident, I took both him and his brother to Busch Gardens. Our tiny guy rode big boy roller coasters for the first time. He went on 2 of them, and then he said he was done. And his brother was like, no problem. And he told me later on the way home, Mommy, I didn't like the drop. Like, he went on the longest roller coaster at Busch Gardens, and it goes up to like 65 miles per hour. So it was like, and it does a loop. So, he did he was brave. We had a great time, but oh my God, it was so hot. It was so hot. Like, I've been to Busch Gardens a million times during the summer because we used to have annual passes. So during the summer, I would always take Aiden and his friends. But this time, the heat index, I checked the next day because I was like, why was I so hot yesterday? The heat index was 110 degrees.
Oof.
We were the hottest we have ever been in our entire lives. Like, my son lives 5 minutes away from Busch Gardens. We went back to his apartment, and both of my boys stripped down to their underwear. And I was laughing because it was like my kids are 21 and 7. So to see them both standing there in their boxer briefs, I'm like, oh my God, it's like there's 2 of you. Or there's, you know what I mean? It's just you guys are the same. You guys are like mirrors of each other, the little version and the big version.
Aw.
But it was so hot. I can't even. I think I told you later that night. I was like, I was so hot. Oh, I
Yeah.
sent you a picture of me there.
Yeah, you
Like,
said
you
it
can
was
see
brutal.
it was the sweat was beating on my forehead. I was like, oh my gosh. So we have annual passes, but we're not going back until November. My little one was like, we'll go back in the winter. Still, it was really nice to spend the day with my boys. The big one is in college and he lives on his own, so I don't really see him that often. He's always busy, especially he starts classes next week, and he told me that every hour of his day is scheduled, and I believe that because he
Damn.
creates a schedule in advance, and he's one of those people that fills up every hour that he's awake, he has something in it.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's square. So we don't really see him that often, and I don't think I've ever gotten to spend the day with just the 2 of them. It's always like me and my husband, or like a friend or his godmother, their godmother. It's never just been me and both of them at like Busch Gardens. So that was a lot of fun. It was really a good treat and totally worth the cost of the $9 waters.
Well, so for me, months ago, I talked to Bob Seska. I used to work with him at the Banter. We used to do a podcast together. But I talked to him about how he dealt years ago with his semi-adopted daughter leaving for college, which was really hard for him. And he told me that helping her move into her dorm really, really helped. And you know what? He was right.
Oh, it's almost like you have another friend who has a kid in college.
Yeah, but that's your actual kid. So it's not an apples to apples comparison. But moving day was Friday, and Lila and I spent most of Thursday in bed, paralyzed with anxiety and depression.
He was.
And, yeah, honestly, for a kid who's not related to me, it's spooky how much we're alike. But I don't know if she cried on Thursday, but I did multiple times. Thursday was not a great day. But Friday came anyway, as Friday tends to do. And Lila drove down with her mother, and I drove down with Anastasia, and everything went smooth as butter. We unpacked most of Lila's stuff. We set up her room. I set up the electronics and put together some furniture. Then we went out to lunch, and Anastasia gave Lila like a stand-up picture frame that she had made with a collage of family photos from the last decade, and had like little foam knickknacks around the outside of it that Anastasia cut out and glued on, that represented important stuff that we had done over the years, like apple picking or a specific video game that the girls had played together that meant a lot to them.
I love that. That's so cute.
There was a convention badge on it, that sort of thing. And Lila loved it. So we finished up, and then it was time to go. Anastasia started to cry, and we left her and Lila in the bedroom to talk for a bit. And then I went in and we talked, and I managed to last 30 whole seconds before I burst into tears. And then we drove home. Lila was overwhelmed by the entire day, so she was just kind of numb the entire time. And she didn't start crying until Saturday, the next day. But she spent Sunday thrift shopping with her friends and playing video games and hung out. And June, her girlfriend, slept over on Friday and Saturday. So she was in a much better frame of mind by the time she got to Tuesday, which would be yesterday. Right, we're recording this on Wednesday. And we were all stressed as fuck because we weren't sure how it was going to go. Was she going to panic? But she got to class on time. She really enjoyed it. She met some people. She hung out with them, and she thinks she's going to make some friends in her classes, which is wildly optimistic for Lila. And I haven't been able to breathe since last week. So hearing that she really liked her class and, she met people, that weren't from her old school, that was great. And something I absolutely needed to hear, because I've just been
a hot mess, guys.
Yeah, I've not been dealing with this well. So we're going to see how the first couple of weeks go. I'm still really sad she's not here, and I'm still really stressed, about how she's going to be and how everything's going to go. But I'm really happy that she's starting to settle into her new life and that she's at college, and, it's going well so far. And I'm hoping that we've given her all the tools she needs to thrive, but it still hurts a lot. And I miss my little girl, and, waiting to see when we can go down and visit, because, we have to wait a while. We can't just immediately run down there the first weekend. We have to give
I
time.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
Unless she calls and says, I need you guys to come down on Saturday.
You guys are going to give her space.
Yeah. I would love to go down this weekend, but, I'm not.
Surprise!
We're not going to crowd her. But, we'll figure out something. We'll get sorted. Her apartment's really nice. She actually has an apartment.
Which is crazy. I told him for a freshman to get an apartment like that. Yeah. My son was bunked. I sent you pictures of my son's dorm room. It was small.
Yeah, no, she's got like a proper kitchen. There's a living room.
She has a toilet, y'all.
Yep.
In the room.
She's got her own. She's got a bedroom. It's a 2-person bedroom, but she's got like a bathroom with a shower and everything. So it's great.
Yeah, I love that for her, because really, I remember Aiden's first year, he was like, Mom, these people are so gross. I was like, yeah, buddy, I'm so sorry. And I knew it because I used I would go to his dorm, I would visit him, and I would use like the women's bathroom there, and I was like, ugh.
Right. So you can only imagine what the men's was like.
Right. It's so funny though, because Lila was so, she was so sad or whatever when she left. When I sent Aiden to pre-K, I have a picture of him. He was literally like, bye, like pre-K, bye, Mom, and left. And I was like, what? Isn't he gonna cry? Like, look at all these other kids, they're crying. Mine's not crying. And when we dropped him off at college, he was like, all right, bye. And I was like, isn't he gonna cry? I just joked it was like the same as pre-K, in pre-K as it was in college. Like, here I am, like, hey.
Jordan cried when he first got on the bus to go to school. Anastasia was just like, "Hey, other kids, woo!"
Yeah,
So,
that's how he was too. Nathan, he wasn't upset like the first day of pre-K, but like as it went on, then he was upset. But Aiden has always just been my independent kid who's just like, yes, see ya.
we'll see.
And I mean, it's good because you raise your kids to be adults, right?
Right.
And they're adults. Oh, T. just said the same thing. We
Yep.
raise them to be adults. I always look at it that way. I'm not raising a child, I'm raising an adult. But
see.
I'm so sorry. She'll be okay. You'll be okay. She'll be okay.
I'm resisting the urge to like text her like every hour, but just need to hear from her once or twice a day just to know that she's okay.
It's rougher for you too because you're right, because she's not technically your kid.
Right.
Like you can't force her to put Life 360 on her phone.
And we don't talk on the phone. That's not something we do. Like we've never talked on the phone because she's always lived next door. So talking on the phone is not a thing we do.
But with Anastasia, when she goes to college, as soon as Anastasia starts driving, I'm telling you, Life 360.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to do that.
Because you know how easy it is for me. Like, I got an alert just really quickly before we end the show. I got an alert last week, and it said, like usually you get an alert with like Life 360 in the middle of the night, and it's like your kid's phone is dying. But I got an alert and it said like Aiden has arrived home, and it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, where the fuck has my kid been at 1 o'clock in the morning? Doesn't he know that he has a curfew? And he had gone out to a bar with his friends, and now my son doesn't drink.
Right.
Like parents say that, but like my kid literally actually doesn't drink. He thinks that it's poisoning your body. He's like one of those people. It's like, why would you go to a bar? You don't drink.
Someone's got to drive.
Yeah, and his friends were drinking and they taught him how to play pool. So like nice wholesome fun, I guess. But
there you go.
Yeah, Life 360, man.
All right, that is it for today's show. The Opinionated Ogre podcast, like the newsletter, is free and 100% supported by you, our amazing audience.
Like
we have no advertisers or sponsors, and probably never will
because of him,
because of me. So please consider becoming a paid subscriber for only $5 a month or just $50 a year. If you'd prefer a one-time donation, we now have PayPal and Venmo buttons for your convenience, and the barcodes are right there on the screen.
Please, we're poor.
Help others join the Ogre Nation conversation by sharing the Odd Pod on the social media platform of your choice and giving us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. You can find me at the Opinionated Ogre on Substack, Blue Sky, TikTok, and also we're back on Facebook. Woo! Florida Woman, where can our beloved audience find you?
You can find me at Florida Woman Rants on Substack and TikTok. And actually, I do also post on the Facebook page, but let's see if you guys can figure out who is who.
All right. There are 74 days left until the most important midterm elections in American history, and that time will fly by faster than you can possibly imagine. The regime is still frantically begging the Supreme Court to rig the midterms because they are fucking weak. In November, we will show them just how weak they are. Remember, you are never alone. Stay strong. We beat the fascists once, and we will fucking do it again. Adios.
Adios.
All right, we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, T-Reed. We appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.